early because Bitcoin is doing exactly what I wanted to talk about today, and so I want to watch this with you together. I cannot wait another second because the close of this candle is essential. So I'm going to get right into what is happening now, and then we will go back in time. I'm going to do things a little bit backwards than the way that I normally do it, simply because we are in a critical zone. So I'll go back and show you things a little bit later. I don't want to move this screen right now, but I will say we have, during the week, we've had our three rises to the upside, and we are expecting a midweek reversal. This is for if you're trading the weekly setup, which a weekly setup involves a 3-ish day swing with, the move made early in the week, and then somewhere midweek, it reverses. Now, the thing about it is usually we'll reverse on a news event, or sometimes the model can be stretched out, because if it was the exact same thing every week, then we would figure it out, and the goal is for us to not actually be able to figure things out. That's how the market maker gets us. So yesterday, I kind of joked, but it was a little bit serious about the potential for us not having our midweek reversal until Friday, meaning that they may stretch the normal weekly pattern out over 2 weeks. We are at the stage where we have to consider if that's going to be a possibility based on what is happening with the price action now. Now, one thing I want to say to you is that we are currently in the dead gap zone. As you guys know, this is the most highly manipulative zone of the day. But what is very important right now is that if our midweek reversal is coming in, if this is going to prove to be an M formation formed from here, we cannot break these two zones that I've marked out. I've got Bitcoin on the left and Ethereum on the right. We cannot break above these zones if we're to have a midweek reversal today. Excuse me, almost got there without a cough. So if you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Smash up the like button nice and early, because we are getting straight into the live TA on this channel with what is happening exactly right now. Now, we can see on Bitcoin, we have wicked into the zone a couple of times. So this here is the vector candle that I don't want to see Bitcoin get above. With Ethereum, it's not as clear a candle. Actually, I could probably stretch it out to this one, but it's not exactly what I would like to see on a chart, but this is what we've got to deal with. And we have wicked into it once as well. We're currently right under on both of them. So it is crucial that price does not close above yesterday's high of the day. If it does, then I know exactly what is going on, and it's on a higher time frame. But I just want to watch this for now, because there is a chance that we have more upside today, and I'm going to tell you why and what I think it's going on, because I still think it's a trap if it is, in a second. So let's just let this play out. We really need Asia to open. The other thing I want to say, though, is knowing that the dead gap zone is the most highly manipulated point of the day, we then would also kind of draw the conclusion that if they're moving to the upside during the dead gap zone, are they actually trapping us? Is that the whole point, to make us believe that we're going to continue up and we're going to break the channel, the 1 hour channel? Because we are literally right at the top of it. Bring in that hope. There is a lot of retail traders right now saying that we're going, into the high 20s or at least 21K I've seen everywhere. So are they doing that on purpose right now? We'll know when Asia actually opens. So for me, I need to take a second to have my orders ready. Give me 1 second. I love YouTube, but I'm not giving up trading for it. So let me just place my orders in case I have to put a very quick order in. 1 second. Okay, that's done. So let's have a look at the 1 hour time frame that I'm talking about now. And this is the zone that I'm talking about here. So this is the channel right here between, what have we got here, 1845-ish and 20,400. Now, we know these high block levels of liquidity. We've talked about them before. We have tapped into the 20,500. This chart that I'm showing you here is a spot chart, so it's a little bit different, but on the perps, we definitely have tapped into the 20.5 and erased that liquidity. I showed you that yesterday. The thing is, here's what we know and here's what we should do every single day when we chart if we're trading this method. The first thing you should do is mark out where is the liquidity above and below price. So if we mark out, the previous vector candle zone right there, below price, oh my Lord, that is between 19.6 and 19.850-ish, right? And this EMA that I have on is the 800. We can see here we've had a break, we've had a retest of the 800. This is the reason why I'm open to more upside this week and potentially not a midweek reversal until the end of the week. So we've broken up, we've retested, it's possible, and we retested and stopped with a stopping volume candle. It is possible that we're going to break this resistance level to induce more people to take long positions. So we've got this vector candle down here. The other thing too is we've got, this is the most immediate one above price here, which sits between 21,180 and 21,5. Now, if they do come for that, I mean, there's this up here. Now, what we know about vectors is that at some point in time, they come back to recover them. We know that, right? So, is that time now? That is the thing that we have to wait and see. If it's not now, it's going to be at some point in time. But why it makes sense to me that we may actually push through and break this resistance today, even though I see that the dead gap zone is currently trapping us. There we go. That one has just about broken right through. So the reason that I say that is because of the high block liquidation data, and currently we have 7 billion delta to the longs, meaning that there is more room to go if they are trying to play on retail traders' emotions. Let them believe they're right about 21, 22, 23, 24K, whatever, 30, bull run back in, bear market over. Let them all believe that. Keep running this up to build up this delta before they actually reverse. And we've got this liquidity above price currently for them to do that, knowing that if we do break this resistance, this is going to increase, so it can get higher and higher. But at this point in time, we've got fairly large pools of liquidity at around 20.5, up to around 21K, the highest level at this point in time being 21,160. But as I said, that number will increase if more people pile on long positions. And so what's going to make retail pile on a long position now? Breakout traders breaking resistance. That's the key. Breakout traders are the ones that most get wrecked in this method. So breakout traders currently, well, fib traders are great because that was a 50 fib level right there. So fib traders should already be long. EMA traders should already be long. But breakout traders are waiting for a break of what's this level? Around about 20,400. So breakout traders pile on there. They're the last ones to pile on, right? So they add that last bit of delta that we're hanging out for. And that could give us that spike out into this zone up here. So, at the end of the day, this is what you have to assess when you get to midweek reversal time. Let me just cross off my exchange because I don't want to accidentally expose that. But this is what we have to assess when we get to midweek reversal time, because at the end of the day, let's have a look at Bitcoin a little bit closer right now. Last night, we had this move here. We talked about the M formation on yesterday's video in the dead gap zone. I didn't really like it. My conditions to enter a trade was to see a breakdown with a 50 EMA, a retest, or get a third hit to the high. What ended up happening was we had this breakdown. The retest failed because we got back above the 50 EMA, but we created a lower high. So that was still a good position to go short if you were looking for a little day trade. And if you were in our Discord, you'll know that last night we were talking about this as it was actually starting to play out before the news event, that it was starting to look a little bit like a bull flag formation. So maybe because these drops, even though they count as 1, 2, 3 drops to the downside, so in that case, the model is over. We had our 3 moves to the upside. We had our 3 moves to the downside. That's on the lower time frame. But if you're trading the weekly setup, what happens here on the daily, it only creates one side of the M on the weekly, which I know is so confusing. So if you're not in our community, if you're not in our Discord, if you're not learning this method, it's way too much detail to talk about on YouTube. So just come and join us in the Discord and learn this in full, because one thing I find with beginners especially that they get very confused about is they're like, why is one person looking for shorts when another person is looking for longs? And the reason will be because one set of people are trading the weekly setup and one set are trading the daily setup. So per person trading the daily down here would 100% be short already, but a person trading the weekly setup is still waiting for a push to the upside, which we got last night. They're waiting for that push to the upside to be able to not get back into a previous vector, to give us a lower high, to then give us a 1 hour M, right, to then break down. So a day trader could be short here and long here, whereas a person trading the swing pattern, the weekly pattern, will only have a bearish bias at this point in time, waiting to see if we do break down. So that's what I'm saying, is like, just learn the method in detail. The other thing I want to say is, if you actually are new to the Discord, besides like massive welcome to you, if you are completely confused at the price action right now, I want you to know that that's normal, because the hardest point in time to trade this method, or really any method, is, unless you're a range trader, is when the higher time frame is in a range. So if you zoom out, the problem that a lot of people do is they get stuck on one time frame and they don't ever zoom out. If you zoom out and you really have a look at what's going on, since the 14th of September, we have been sideways on a higher time frame. That is why the method feels difficult to figure out right now. It's why any trading method feels difficult to figure out right now. And it's also why people say that we're bullish again and we're going to 30, 40K, absolutely ridiculous, to the point where I actually want to swear right now, because we have not even broken a range resistance. Like, at a basic level, we have not even broken a range resistance. So yes, I can see people saying it does work. It 100% works. But what I'm saying is, in this range, like when we're ranging on a higher time frame, you have to be an expert to be able to trade this range. So if you're feeling confused right now, do you know what confusion is? Confusion is your brain expanding into new knowledge, which is actually a very big positive. So the reason that you're feeling confused is because you're learning something that you've never learned before. Hello, my child. Everybody, I'm going to embarrass my child right now, but it is her 25th birthday. And so if we could all as a community say happy birthday to my child. Trinae, you are live on YouTube right now. She's given me the worst look. Oh my God, she's so cute. I could die. Everybody say happy birthday to you, Trinae. She's laughing. She's dying inside. She's a Libra, so she hates attention. Oh, my baby. Anyway, let's just get back to it. Let's get back to business. Thank you guys for all of the well wishes. No, she actually cannot stand trading. She thinks it looks so boring. So she's definitely going to be one of those kids that just inherits wealth instead of making it on her own. But anyway, back to my rant, is that it is absolutely crazy for anybody to be calling breakouts and, much, much higher prices right now, because we are literally in a range. And what's to say that this right here is not about to happen by the end of this week? Like, what's to say that's not about to happen? So just let's be realistic. That's what we do here on this channel, and we just trade what we see. And what we see is that there is a vector down here yet to be recovered, have spiked into it once, but only once. And there is a vector up here yet to be recovered as well. We know that we have liquidity above price if the market maker wants to come for it. And we also know here, so this was the previous liquidity that we tapped in and took away. This is just in a recent range, and we've got, so what have we got up here? We've got around 21K. That pool there is relatively close to price and kind of feels like it's worth coming for before we do get a sharp reversal. And so if a sharp reversal is coming, it usually comes because of one of three reasons. One is a news event, which we know. Another one is a extremely high peak in open interest, which is kind of where we were heading yesterday. And the other one, oh my Lord, I forgot. Oh, the other one is when the hash rate peaks for the mining rates in with Bitcoin. Well, the hash rate is peaking. I actually can't find the chart, but so we do kind of have this combination of all of these things going on, and it does make sense that the market maker will give us that breakout to the 21K, induce people to go long, and then reverse price. However, it very much depends on whether or not the initial high of the day is already set for today, and that's what we have to keep an eye on when Asia opens. So if we now go down to to the 15-minute time frame, so far so good, but Asia has not opened yet. As long as we stay underneath this here, we should get our midweek reversal today. That's the condition. If we break above, if you're already short, because you're expecting midweek reversal, your invalidation zone for this is if we break above this level. We could spike back into this week, but above that, your trade's invalidated and you just reset. Really want to stay out of this zone right here. And let's have a look at Ethereum as well. But I also, at the same time, I don't want you to freak out right now because, like I said, we're in the dead gap zone and this could be the game that they're playing. They're trying to get you to believe that we're going to break out long before they potentially go short. The way we're going to know that is if we get right through this zone. If we get right through this zone, they are trying to trap more longs. So again, don't like that we're right in this zone right now. The thing with the Ethereum is that I don't really like that particular vector candle as the one to go for. But if I go to the 1 hour time frame, I think there's there's a better one. Was there a better one? Oh, no, there wasn't. No, there wasn't. So, yeah, look, if we break, it does look like we're about to break it. So if we break through this is the 1 hour vector that we're coming for next, which does mean that we don't actually have that M formation for a midweek reversal just yet. So this looks like where ETH is currently trying to come back into. We need Asia to drop this hard if we're going to have midweek reversal today. And that is literally the key. Let me have a look at some of these comments here. Huge orders, a bond trading light. Let's have a look at that. Sorry. Okay, so we've got 2.4K, again, got to remember these are manipulated numbers during the dead gap zone. See how that just disappeared, just ran away. This one up here, 20,500. See, we know that level has liquidity, so we know they're going to come for that. But I was looking at this earlier to see what was building above, and 20,800 was a key level. Would be fairly close to that 21K. Like if everyone's saying we're going to 21K, wouldn't it make sense for them to just go to 2,800, drop price hard from there, and not give people time to take their profits? That's one potential. But then also we do have this level building at 22. So it could be a spike out beyond what people are talking about. Again, to induce that FOMO, then a reversal from there. But I'm not expecting that to happen in a day. Something like this could happen, into tomorrow, because if we have a look at Forex Factory, these were the news events from last night. And let's just have a look at how that actually affected price last night. Was this the right chart? Yes. So last night, the first news event, here. Sorry, guys. Last night, the first news event here was a bit of a tricky one. We had this sell-off, so that was the final leg of the bull flag that was potentially forming last night. And then the news event was on here. We got a final drop down where we didn't get a stopping volume candle was what I wanted to say on this one. when the news actually came out, which should have been your hint that this move to the downside wasn't over. And we did come down into this zone. Now, I believe from yesterday's video, that was the exact zone that I actually wanted here. So we did tap into that, which was great. And then the stopping volume candle came on the second news event. Then we had our push to the upside. So today is what we have to, or it's not today, I think it's tomorrow, what we have to watch for. So this is done, this is done. Tonight we do have one news event, which is unemployment claims. It may not be that big of a thing, but just keep an eye on it. It's 11:30 p.m. Melbourne time tonight. Just keep an eye around that time, but it may not be the huge market mover simply because of what we've got coming up Friday at 11:30. So we've got the average hourly earnings, we've got the non-farm employment change, and we've got the unemployment rate. So these are some pretty big events happening at 11:30 Friday. And it kind of makes sense to me that if it's happening that late, so that is going to be around end of UK session, if it's happening that late into the week, that is why I'm suspicious that our midweek reversal is going to run over a 2-week period. It would make sense for them to push that delta up, get people to commit to longs, and then Friday do the false move Friday to trap you into the weekend. It kind of makes sense for all of that to happen, but all of that is dependent on whether or not Asia breaks out of this range today. So I will not be rushing into a short just yet. I think you have time. Excuse me. I think you have time because, we've got a few wicks into this zone, but price isn't giving up. So the fact we have these wicks and then we keep attempting into it, we need to see if we cannot break above it, then sure, that's the time to short, and midweek reversal is here. But give it time. We want to test and get a few more weeks in this zone, especially throughout Asia. And we want to be sure that this right here is the initial high of the day. It's set and we're not going any higher today. Now, on that note, if we do break above it and we continue higher, it is going to be a fairly decent run to the next level. So normally I don't really take trades at level 3 in the same direction because I am expecting a reversal. But where that delta is, it could be something that turns out to be a fairly decent move to the upside. So the way that I would play this, if it did happen, is I'm actually going to see if throughout Asia today, do we have the beginnings of, let me mark it out, right here, do we have the beginnings of a potential ascending triangle? Because if that is what happens today and we hold this kind of a shape here, I just love trading ascending triangles, and this is what it would take for me to trade it. So we'd have to hold this level now, come back and create a higher low, have a third touch. After that third touch to the high at level 3 does signal reversal is imminent. But this is how you judge whether you're going to get the reversal. So if you're going to get it, it will break the trend line, create a lower high. That's your entry to short. That's your midweek reversal. If it's not going to break it after you have, I made the wrong thing, doesn't matter. If you have this, it's not going to break the trend line. It's going to give you a higher low, and then it's going to break to the upside. That there is your, wherever that higher low forms, that's your entry off the third touch to the ascending fourth touch to the ascending triangle trend line, or it doesn't. It's even better if it doesn't touch the trend line. It's even better if it creates a higher low within it. So that's what I would watch for today if I was looking for a trade. Look, Asia's coming down. This does look good so far, but just as we know, an initial high of the day or an initial low of the day is only set after it's held that level for around 30 to 90 minutes if you want to take a trade on it. So no aping in right now, but it is currently looking good as long as it holds. So those are your two options. Let's have a quick look at Ethereum. Ethereum's rejecting under that line. Yeah, looking good. Let's give it a little bit more time. And just know that your condition to scratch the trade is a break above these areas of interest. Hope that was helpful, guys. Does anyone have any last minute questions for me before I jump off and and do what I've got to do for the day. What about the vector candle recovery from September 13? September 13. I'm going to assume that you're talking about Bitcoin. And also, I don't know what time frame you're talking about, so I'm just going to guess September 13. This one up here. Didn't I talk about that? I think I talked about that one. I did. Do you have MM System full tutorial? I do, but it is probably a 4-month course if you do it properly at a minimum. And that is available as the Trade by Design membership on our website. The link is in the description of this video. So I don't sell it as a separate course. It's just part of the Discord membership that we have, because we want to guide you as you're learning. So yeah, if you're interested in learning that, just jump in that link in the description of this video under the Join TTC to learn the Trade by Design and Invest by Design systems. Decide which membership is right for you, and we will be happy to help you learn this in full. How are you celebrating her birthday? Well, she's having a party on Saturday, and she told me that I'm not invited. And then I asked her where the party was, and she said in our house. So I think by default I'm invited because I'm not leaving my house. So that's how you get an invite. ETH 15 million, 3 hits to the high. Let's have a look at ETH. It's potential, but I told you how to play 3 hits to the high. Don't play them just off that, especially in Asia. When you have 3 hits to the high, you need to have at least one of the hits in a different zone, number one. I also don't know what time frame you're talking about. So just as long as you have the 3 hits that you're counting in different sessions, fine. But after that, you wait for the lower high. So there's that. Or, sorry, I shouldn't say just a lower high. It could also be any reversal signal. So inverted hammer at this point in the cycle, a star formation, an EMA rejection, anything like that. Just take it because we've hit a level 3 times. Got to make sure you have that bearish confirmation. You're getting kicked out. I won't get kicked out. I'll get banished to my room, which is fine. All right, guys, I'm going to leave. Sorry, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you for your beautiful birthday wishes. Be sure to smash that like button if you haven't already. This is my last update for the week, but play it safe. We'll see how we go tomorrow. And if you want updates, come join us in between these YouTube sessions. Come join us in Discord. I'll see you next week. Have the most amazing weekend.